Hello and welcome to Resume and LinkedIn Workshop. My name is Donya Ziraksari and I will be taking you through the journey of how to put a resume if you don't have one and how to create a LinkedIn account if you don't have one already. It's going to be a fun process. It's very easy and I hope you enjoy it. First, we're going to talk about why we need a resume to begin with. In my very personal opinion, a resume is a way that we communicate our skills and previous experiences to the potential employers that we are applying for jobs for. So it is very important that you understand the importance of having a resume and how much it could help you find the next job that you're looking for, or build your previous experience in a written format, as well as navigate through your potential career that you are envisioning for yourself. So a resume will describe your skills. It would outline your previous experiences as well. It will show whoever that picks up your resume, what your strengths are. It will show them what your desired job is going to be, your education, licenses you've acquired, or the volunteer work or associations that you have. And we'll go into details in for each one of these. It will also have your contact information, and that's how the employers are going to get in touch with you. To build your resume, you will need to write down all of your previous experiences, including the dates. So when it comes to the dates, I don't want you to remember the day or the month. I just want you to think about the year that you worked at a certain location. And I will show you examples on my own LinkedIn and resume, how I've managed to do that. The top 5 strengths that you will need to get the next position. That's very important. And I'm going to show you examples of what those could be depending on your desired job. You need to list all of your educations and certifications. So I would say take a moment, think about all the education you have acquired so far, whether it's a high school diploma, whether it's a bachelor's degree, whether it's a license that you have, and you can list all of those on your resume. You can also list all of the associations you have. For example, if you're associated with Salvation Army, Back on My Feet, Houston Welcomes Refugees, or any other nonprofit organization, you're welcome to put their name on here. Additionally, you can put all of the qualifications and skills, such as the different languages you speak, the software and hardware that you know how to use, and we'll go into details. Sometimes you have all these skills, but you think it's not appropriate to put it on, or maybe even needed to put it on the resume, but you'll be surprised how valuable this information could be if it was on your resume. So when it comes to the contact information, it's very important. Even though it was at the bottom of my list, now it's at the top of, it's the very first slides that I'm going to show you. It's very important because imagine you go through all of this tough work to build your resume and create a LinkedIn account, and then you don't put the right contact information, or the contact information is not accurate. For example, if you don't correctly spell your first name and last name, that could be a major issue. So please make sure you have corrected you have correctly spelled your first name and last name on any job application, resume, LinkedIn, and so on. You need to put your address. You don't need to put the entire address. People don't need to know where you live exactly. That's actually very dangerous, because if the resume gets into the wrong hand, people could just show up at your house. I don't know. It's just not very safe to put the full address. I even personally put my city and state and zip code. All they need to know is where I am at the moment, so they can find the right fit for me. You need a working email address, okay? I've come across so many different occasions that people did not have an email address that was working. And by that, what I mean is you need to make sure that your email address password is correct, so you can actually log into that email address. The password is working, there's nothing wrong with the email, and you are receiving emails on a daily basis, because once you start applying for jobs, very likely 95% of the times they're going to contact you using an email. So make sure you check your emails daily. Another thing is a phone number. So wherever you are, make sure you put the phone number so they can reach you. It's maybe they just want to ask you a quick question and so on. And if you do have a LinkedIn account, or at some point, I will show you how to put the link on your LinkedIn account, the link to your LinkedIn on your resume. Here is an example of a resume. This is actually my resume. And as you see, it's 3 pages. And I just had to show all of the experiences that I had. And we're going to go through it piece by piece, and I'm going to show you which what is going on with each sections of it. So when you look at a resume, don't think of it as a Word document, like a piece of paper. It has different sections, and those you need to attend to those different sections in the right way. That's how you can attract a potential employer to yourself. Let's dive into it. Starting with the contact information, as you see, I have spelled my first name and last name correctly. And you see after Donya Ziraksari, you see the word PMP. That's Project Management Professional License. So if you do have a license that you can put right next to your name in an acronym, please go ahead and put it. Another thing is the city, state, and zip code, Houston, Texas, 77022. I didn't have to put my entire address there because it really isn't anybody's business to know where I live. They just need to know which county I live in or which city I live in, so they can match me with the right fit job. Then I have put my email address, which is a Gmail, and it is functioning. I get emails every day. Another thing is my phone number. I put my phone number there, and then I put the link to my LinkedIn account. So you can all do the same. Next, we're going to talk about the strengths. I have put a very short paragraph together that describes my strengths. It is very important for you to communicate your strengths to the potential employer, because that's how you can shine, and you can show them that you do have what it takes for them to hire you and for you to be successful at the job they're going to offer you. So I put project manager as the desired title. So if I ever go and apply for a job, I'm most likely going to apply for jobs that has the word project or manager in it, right? So that is my desired title. So for example, if your desired title is a VP of a company, or if it's a truck driver, if it's whatever it is, dispatcher, it could be, you can put project manager there. You could put a dispatcher, or whatever is your desired title. If you're looking for a truck driver position, you should put truck driver, so it attracts their attention, and it shows them that your strengths match with that job. The top 3 strengths that I listed for myself is strong relationship with stakeholders, on budget and on schedule. And then the last one is not a strength, but it is very important for them to see that I am experienced in oil and gas and renewable energy. So what that does for them in bold, it shows them that I have the experiences and skills and strengths that it takes to be a successful project manager. In case of a truck driver, which I'm going to use that a lot today, you can put on time, a clean driving record. And there's so many other things you can put. And I'm going to show you how to find your strengths. So don't worry about that right now. I'm going to show you how you can extract the strengths that you have to match with the desired job that you have. And you see, I listed more strengths that will help get the desired title. For example, I wrote, I'm a professional and passionate and a person with strong leadership and effective, precise, and direct communication skills. So right now, if any of those apply to you, you're welcome to take it and you can use it on your resume. I am driven towards efficiencies, saving millions, delivering on-time projects. So it's very important to be on time if you're a project manager. So I'm stressing that again. Persistent in pursuing root causes of project deficiencies, look for creative and collaborative ways to achieve project goals, experience in project controls, estimating, construction management, bid evaluation, and so on. So as you can tell, I did not list one or two. I listed many of my strengths, and all of those strengths are very much needed if you want to be a successful project manager. So take a moment, think about your strengths, okay? And think about what strengths are going to help you get your next job, okay? Whether you have one right now or you're just looking for one right now. And you need to think about the strengths that you have. Then you can start listing your previous positions. So what that means is that there is a section called professional experience, and you can list starting from the last job you had for the last 10 years, 15 years, how many ever jobs you've had, you can start listing those. So for example, currently, I work for Accenture, and Accenture is located in Houston, Texas. I am tied to their office in Houston, Texas. And my title is Capital Project Consultant or Original Equipment Manager, Partner Manager. So what you can do is you can list the very last company that you worked for, and you can list the city that you were working for that company. And then you can also list your job title right underneath it. And across from it, the start year for me was 2021. I started working for Accenture last year, and then I am still working there. So I put present, so that I am communicating to the potential employer that I am still working at Accenture. Right underneath my title, it says manage and create change management procedures, project execution plans, blah, blah, blah. So that tells them or gives them a general idea of what is it that I am doing at Accenture. And then the bullet points underneath it are a list of current responsibilities. So for example, I am interfacing with the original equipment manufacturing, offshore and onshore partners, okay? Routing all software issues and defects resolutions, internal PMO, and so on. So if you look at that list, you notice that I am working as a capital project consultant, and you see the responsibilities that I currently have. If I am moving forward with working at Accenture and I get a different position within the company, then I start adding to this list of responsibilities, okay? So what does that do for an employer? It shows them what your current responsibilities and capabilities are. So it is very important for you to list all of the work that you are doing right now, if you have a job, and just think about your day-to-day and week-to-week and month-to-month responsibilities and just list them. And at the end, I'll show you how you need to sort them out. You need to rank them by importance. Like you need to put the most important responsibility at the top. Something that is very important is, and I'm trying to draw your attention to this slide, which is showing the action verbs to start your sentences. So the same job, current responsibilities I have, if you look at the very first words that I am using for every bullet point, those are action verbs. Those are showing my strengths. So when you say I am interfacing, it's showing a lot of my strengths. It shows that I am good with stakeholders, as I had mentioned previously above, and I know how to communicate with people when and then it shows that I am creating, I am managing, I am working, I am preparing. So these are all very useful verbs that you can use to build your sentences. Look, there is more action verbs that I have provided for you here. So when I was working at another company last year, and as you see, I only put 2021 to 2021 because I only worked there for some months. As you see, I put that I managed and developed capital and maintenance project scope, schedule, estimate, and cost control. So what that tells them is that I was a project manager. And then the action verbs are very important because it says I accomplished, defined, prepared, coordinate, communicate, recommend, participate, review, oversaw demolition, install temporary, and so on. So if you look at these action verbs, which there's another page of it right now, you are welcome to take these verbs and use them however you see fit and make sentences with them. So I highly recommend you write some of these down, maybe pause the video or refer to your printout of my resume and take the action verbs that you see fit for your responsibilities and start making sentences with them. So after you go through all of your previous experiences, and as you see, for example, I worked for Contanta and Citgo, and I put what years I worked there. And under Citgo, as you see, I worked there from 2014 to 2018, but I had two different positions. First, I was a project engineer for a year, and then I moved to a project manager. So I have also listed that. Education and associations. So what you do is you list any education that you have and where you got it from. So for example, I got a bachelor's degree from University of New Mexico, and I put the year. I have a project management professional license, and I earned it in 2018, and I am still paying for the license and taking the courses I need to keep my license. So I listed it there. And then I am associated with some different organizations. One of them, for example, is my own organization, ACE, Advisory Council for Engineering Development at University of New Mexico. I started it in 2020, and I am still presenting courses on soft skill trainings through UNM. So I listed it there. I am associated with Salvation Army and Back on My Feet, the Houston chapter. So I am working with the members there, and I am helping them out. And I started January of 2022, so I listed it there, and so on. You see, I'm also associated with the Women Crisis Shelter in Pasadena, Texas, Houston Welcomes Refugees, and I have an internal group at Accenture that I'm also working with. And then there is another section, the very last section on the resume, which is for qualifications and skills, I have broken them down in a few different parts, and you can choose whatever that best fits you and your skills and your desires to put on this section. So you see, I started with software. So I put down that I know how to work with Microsoft Office, Microsoft Project, AWS, EDMS, and so on. Those are all softwares that are most likely needed for me to be successful. And I know how to work with them. I would highly recommend you do not put something on your resume that is not true, because once they see your resume, they're going to assume that you've communicated the truth to them. So be very careful what you put on your resume. I also put what equipment or hardwares I know how to work with. One is AC/DC inverters. I've worked with power supplies and power tools, soldering. There's just so many different tools that I work with. And I only put the ones that are needed for me to be successful in my future job. So then I started listing more strengths. I put down that I'm excellent in communication, interpersonal skills. I am self-directed, and I know how to analyze and solve problems. If you possess any of those, please go ahead and write it here. I wrote down that I am trained and experienced in communicating assertively, collaboration, and so on. I know how to work with advanced work packaging, so that's another thing. Then I put that I have attended the professional project management trainings. I put that I have presented at different universities and locations for as a presenter for project management. Also listed the languages that I speak. And I highly recommend you list all the languages that you're whether familiar with or you are fluent in. So the next step is to use the resume template that I have provided to your organization to write down your contact information, like we've talked about. Make sure your email is a working email. Write down all of your previous experiences and dates, education, licenses, skills and strengths, associations, and if you're doing any volunteer work anywhere. Create a resume and save it and put today's date, whatever today's date is, and then put your first name and last name. That way you know what day you created that resume, and if you ever go and do a modification, you can always rename it to the very date that you modified. Make sure you do email it to yourself, okay? And maybe even put it on a USB drive, because there has been so many occasions that people have lost their resume and they had to recreate it, and it is information lost. So make sure you write down your password to your email somewhere and you don't forget it, and make a strong password for sure. Now we're going to go and talk about why we need a LinkedIn account. If we have a resume, why do we need to make a LinkedIn account to begin with? First of all, it is free networking, and it provides you job application services for free. Again, it's at no cost to you, and you can use it in your phone, on the tablet, laptop, wherever you go. You can just log in, no matter where you are or what device you're using. You can view your messages, you can network with people, you can connect, you can communicate, and you can apply for jobs. It is very important. But I just want you to know that once you created your resume, you don't have to do much work in LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you why. Because you already are putting all of these sections together that is needed for your LinkedIn account as well. So if you go back to the slide, the resume example, you see that there are all these different sections here on the resume, which has my name, licenses, where I live, my email address, phone number, my strengths. I'll tell you where that goes, and all the professional experiences and the education and the developments and the professional developments that I have and associations. All of these sections that you see on this resume example, all of those also exist on a LinkedIn profile. So what you do is you literally build your resume and then copy and paste it to your LinkedIn. That way you don't have to recreate the wheel. So let's use LinkedIn to write our resume. I'm going to show you how that's done after I'm done with the slides and telling you how to create an account, because you can actually reverse engineer your resume. So when you already put all of the information that you wanted to put on your resume and you're done with that now, you're like, well, I can't think of anything else that I would need as a truck driver, for example, or a project manager. You can go and do some search in LinkedIn and figure out what else you need to put on your resume. And that is not a lie. It's just you're getting more help from the tools that are available to you for free to remember what are the things that you should be putting on your LinkedIn. And the reason I say this is because way before a human being reviews your resume, and an AI, a computer, okay, a simulation is going to go through your resume when you apply for a job online. And if you do not have the words that are used in the qualifications listed in the job posting, you will be rejected. So just know that. It is very sad, but you need to make sure that you are meeting the qualifications that is listed on the job posting. So when we go to LinkedIn in a little bit, you're going to see that you can look for the desired company or the title that you're looking for. For example, project manager or dispatcher, truck driver, or driver in general, school bus driver, whatever it is that you're looking for. Then you can read the qualifications for that job, and you can take notes on the action verbs used in the job postings. Remember the action verbs that we talked about? We talked about the words that are, the verbs that are catchy. For example, accomplish and communicate and recommend and review, or there's even more here, which is perform duties or, direct something special or install something. And those words are very catchy and they're very useful. So you can take notes on those action verbs, and then you can match the action verbs to your skills. And what that means is that if you have done something that is listed on the qualifications, you can just take that and put that on your resume. So then you can list your strengths, and it will show, the qualifications also point you to the right direction as where you need to go when it comes to listing your strengths or what strengths they're looking for. Then you can upload your resume to LinkedIn very easily, and you can apply for hundreds of jobs. So create an account with LinkedIn. Take a professional picture first. You see, that is me. I took a picture for myself to put it at the back of the book I published this year. And I needed to make sure that my picture is very professional. So it's not at a party, drinking with friends. It's just my face, nobody else is in the picture. And I am in a professional setting, I'm dressed properly and appropriate. You need to have a picture that is pretty much just yourself, and it's just like a headshot. So please pay attention to what picture you put on LinkedIn. You can be judged by the picture you put there, unfortunately. And please make sure you put a picture, because if you do not put a picture, you don't get half as much attention as you would if you have a picture. I personally have a very hard time accepting the request that comes to my LinkedIn if people don't have a picture. It just makes me wonder, who is this person and what do they look like? And not that it matters what they look like, but I just want to make sure it is a professional human being that is trying to bond with me. And also it's not a robot that is trying to just extract my information once they have access to my profile. So make sure you do have a professional picture. And then you can easily create a LinkedIn account by going to linkedin.com, and then where you see I put an arrow, it says join now, and you can just click on join now, and then you can use a functioning email address or a phone number. It doesn't matter, but you need to make sure that email address, I highly recommend it be an email address versus a phone number. But I highly recommend you make sure your email address is a functioning email address. And sometimes you think you don't have a LinkedIn account, then you try to create one with your email address, and then you realize that you had already built one before, and then now you don't remember the password and so on. What you can do is you can just click on forgot my password, and it will email you a link to reset your password. And just make sure that your email is functioning. If you can't remember what email you use, just make a new email address and dedicate that email address to your jobs, and make sure you do check that email every day. Make sure your password is strong, and then you also remember it, okay? If you can't remember it, please put it somewhere, write it somewhere in your journal or your calendar so you can remember it. Create an account by clicking on agree and join, and then upload your professional picture and start inputting the information in the profile. And I'm going to show you in a little bit how you can do that. Do not recreate your skills. Again, strengths and experiences, those are all on your resume. You do not have to recreate the reel. So now let's dive into LinkedIn. Here is my LinkedIn homepage. So as you can tell, actually, let me see if I can zoom into LinkedIn a little bit. I guess I can't, but I hope you can see what I can see here. So this is me. I'm going to click on, so it's the homepage. So when you come to LinkedIn, this is your homepage. Then you can go to your profile by clicking on your own picture. And as you can tell, my picture is a professional one. What that means is that I'm in a professional setting. I have a nice smile and it's welcoming. So you can always go ahead and edit it. You can take a photo if you're doing this with your phone. Then you see my background. I have a background of downtown Houston. It's very generic, but there is at least a background, because there is a lot of backgrounds that don't make sense. And I would highly recommend you get a background for your picture that describes who you are or where you are. And it's very easy. You can just Google, and actually LinkedIn gives you options as well. I think if I click on this and say I want to change photos, I think LinkedIn gives you other options as well to choose from. Correct spelling of my first name and last name, as you see here, and then PMP is the license I hold, Project Management Professional License. And here are, this is very important, here are the titles that I have held or I would like to hold. So currently I am a digital business integration consultant at Accenture, okay? You see the company name here, Accenture, and this is the university that I went to. And then it says capital project consultant, project manager, oil and gas, renewable energy, agile and waterfall, career coach, published author, and so on. This is limited, but I maxed it out because I want to make sure if anybody is ever searching for a published author or a capital project consultant, they can find me. So the importance of putting words on LinkedIn is that you become more searchable and you narrow the search for people who are looking for someone with your skills. As you see, it says Houston, Texas is where I live. And right now, because Accenture is hiring, I put here that I am hiring. So let's not talk about that right now. But if you wanted to say you are open to work, you can go ahead and click on open to right here. And it would say, if you're trying to provide a service, you can put your service here. If you want to find a new job, you can click on this. Then you can start, it says, tell us what kind of job you're looking for. For example, I say, it says add a title here. I say truck driver. Okay, I want to be a truck driver. I want to be a dispatcher. I want to be an electrician, or I want to be a nurse, right? I'm looking for jobs that needs me to be certified and all this stuff. So you only have 5 options, I think. I think this is the last one. It doesn't give you any. So you can list 5 different jobs. So for example, you can put 3 or 4 or 5, whichever you want, that is all related to the same job. And that way you're not all over the place. Like right now, truck driver, dispatcher, electrician, registered nurse, and project manager is all over the place. But I also list here that I want to be on site or hybrid or even remote. I don't care. It seems like I would work anywhere. But if I just want a remote job, then I just keep that green. Or if I want a hybrid job, then I just keep that green. You can also list where you want, maybe you're interested in working in Houston, maybe you're interested in moving to Dallas, maybe you're interested to moving to Austin. So you just list whatever it is that you're interested in. Maybe you are flexible and you're casually looking for a job. Maybe you are immediately looking for a job. So you can check that as well. Whether you're looking for a full-time, maybe you're also open to contract work or part-time work or temporary work, then you can click on those. And something that is very important is that right now, if I was looking for a job, my profile is not showing that I'm looking for a job. It just shows my picture. But I can always switch to this and say add to my profile. And it says open to work. So now I'm going to delete that because I am not open to work right now. So what I can do is I can go edit, and then I can go and delete all of this. And I can take this off as well. So that way only recruiters can see it. I can just say delete it from my profile. Okay, so here is a section that says add profile section. When you click on that, it takes you to different places and different venues. So one of them is going to be, well, mine is already added, so I don't have that option here. But when you first start your LinkedIn account, you're going to see an option here that is called About section. And when you add that About section, what happens is that now you have this section here. So your About section is actually going to be the strengths that you had. So if you remember, we talked about your strengths, the desired job title that you wanted, and we listed all of these strengths. So the strengths that you listed here, you can just copy and paste it in your about section. For example, if you look at this part, right, that is pretty much identical to what I have here. And I just added a few more words to it. So make sure you have an about section, and then you can add any work features that you've done. You can also post and see activities. Then when it comes to your experiences, for example, right now, I am working for Accenture, okay, as a capital project consultant and an OEM partner manager. So what I do is I literally go ahead and copy all this information that is here and put it here under Accenture. And how you do this is you click on the plus sign under experience, you click on the plus sign, you say, I want to add a position, and then you look for example, salvation. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the title. So let's say you were a truck driver, and then you worked full-time, and the company name was Salvation Army. And you see, it comes as Salvation Army nonprofit organization, so you can just put that there. And then the location, it could be Houston, Texas, and you can say, I am currently working there, or you could say, I am not currently working there. My start month was April of last year, and then I stopped working March of this year, for example, right? Or if you say, I'm currently working there, then it will take the end date away from you. Then you can say what industry it was. You can say it was a nonprofit, for example, work, and then you can copy and paste all of this information that is here on your resume. You can copy and paste it here, and then you just say save, and it will be added to your profile. Then you see any other company that I worked for, okay, previously. For example, I worked for AirSwift, and I listed, sorry, let me show you this one, AirSwift, ExxonMobil, all right? And then I also worked for Contanda or Citgo. So all of those are there. You see AirSwift, ExxonMobil, and I even added pictures that I took at ExxonMobil, Contanda, Citgo, and I have some other experiences that I didn't list on my resume, but it is on my LinkedIn, okay? For example, I worked at University of New Mexico, so all of that is here. Another thing you can add, I'm gonna go back to my profile. Another thing you can add here is recommendations. So if I go down on the profile here, first of all, you see I had listed my education. My education goes right here. You can add your education by clicking on the plus sign. You can add your licenses and volunteer work as well, okay? By clicking on the plus sign. You can add your skills by clicking on the plus sign, or you can give or receive recommendations as well, okay? And you can go to the add a section here, add a profile section, and click on recommendations, and that's how you find it. All right, so here I'm going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to click on jobs at the very top. For example, I can look for truck driver, right? And then I can say, I am looking for a truck driver just in Texas, okay? So I can narrow it out. You see that Higher Art in Dallas is hiring for a truck driver. So what I want you to do is that if you know your desired title, I want you to go to LinkedIn and look at 5 to 10 positions that you would apply for. Do not apply for them just yet. I just want you to read them. First of all, you can add them to your favorite by clicking on save. Right now it says it's saved, or you can just click on apply. It will take you to another website to apply. But if you say if you click on easy apply, it will only give you the jobs that you can easily apply for it. And I will click on those in a little bit. So what you do is that you go and read the job descriptions. For example, this one says it will give you medical, vision, dental, 401k, and they're going to give you $70,000 a year. It's a full-time job. If this is what you want, I highly recommend you go down here and read their qualifications and what they need in a truck driver. It might take some clicking around, but for example, let's see. This one, it says we're looking for a CDL driver to work vacuum trucks. And then it says you do not have to have experience. We will train you. Okay, you just have to have the class A or B CDL. So what this tells you is that if you do have the CDL, okay, you need to be listing that in your resume under certifications, which is professional development. You should be listing that here. And I would actually say you should be listing that here as well, right next to your name. So it will catch their attention. So let's look at some more. We'll look at some more and see. It says what to expect. It's telling you what their expectation of you is. Let's look. They're looking for a local person. It tells you a little bit about the company. So you can also investigate the company. Again, this one tells you how much they're paying you. It's paid between $36,000 to $57,000 a year. And here it says delivery driver are responsible for delivering. And then they are looking for, they're giving you benefits, great pay. The schedule, it says it's flexible, and it's telling you that ability. Okay, so it's very important, and you can use these on your resume. It's telling you you need to be able to maintain food and team member safety, okay? Because you're going to be delivering food, so they want to make sure that you know how to handle food. They want you to have excellent customer service skills. What you can do is you can just literally take this and put that on your resume if you are good at customer service. Ability to operate store technology. If you know how to do that, you can put that on your resume. Ability to assist with store operations. If you think you're capable of that, you can put that on your resume. Ability to operate and troubleshoot technology. If you think you're capable of that, put that on your resume. So you see, there's 2 postings for that. And it says there's $300 signing bonus as well. Here again, it's looking for, let's see, CDL driver. It's $24 to $28 an hour. It's an easy apply. And it literally tells you the responsibilities and expectations, which is what you need to put on your resume and your LinkedIn account in order to actually be considered for this job. Because if you do not use the same words that they are putting on the job description or qualification or responsibilities, then you're not even going to be, your information is not even going to be passed down to a human being to contact you, write you an email and say, hey, we want to interview you. So you need to make sure the words you're using are matching the job responsibilities and expectations. For example, load, unload vehicles by crane. If you know how to do that, put that on your resume. Drivers and stack merchandise. If you know how to do that, clean truck tools, perform other routine duties. Then it's telling you it needs you to have a high school diploma or a GED. Experience as a flatbed driver. If you are, put that on your resume. Ability to read and interpret documents as safety rules, operating, ability to write routine reports, to speak effectively, to add, subtract, multiply, And then it's telling you what are the requirements. You need to have a CDL license. You need to be able to pass a pre-employed criminal background. You need to be able to maybe even pass a drug test, is what's listed here. Be fluent in reading, writing, and speaking in English, and be flexible and be willing to travel. And I kid you not, if you read maybe 5 or 10 of these job postings, you're going to know what to put on your resume exactly. So I would say, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I would say to go ahead and look for some jobs. That was just a truck driver. But if I want to look for a project manager like I am, it will give me all of the jobs that I can easily apply. And when I say click easy apply, it has my phone number and everything. And then it can go back. I can upload a different resume. If I don't want it, I can just delete it and get rid of it and say this is an old one, and then I can choose a different one, or I can just upload a new one. Then I can say next. Let's say if I just say I choose this one, then I go next, and it asks me some questions, and then I say review. Let's say I say yes or no. Then I can just submit my application, and you can literally apply for jobs. I can apply for hundreds of jobs within just a day if you are willing to complete your resume and complete your LinkedIn account and just apply for jobs. There is hundreds of jobs. It actually tells you how many truck driver positions are out there if you just apply for them. Look, I'm going to go back to truck driver in Texas. There is 502 results. And that's just because I clicked on easy apply. If I unclick the easy apply, there is 14,120 jobs that you could apply for. And I just said Texas. I can just say Harris County. In the Harris County, there is 1,600 jobs, 1,655 results just for a truck driver they're looking for in the Harris County. And how many of those are easy apply? 140 of them. And then let's see how many of them are entry level, for example. 83 of them, entry level. That means there are 83 jobs that you can easily apply within less than 1 minute if you already have your resume uploaded. And the way you upload your resume, do not forget, is to go and click on easy apply. And then for the first time, it will allow you to upload your resume by just clicking on an easy apply. So just the first time you're ready to attach your resume, just go ahead and put your personal information. Just go ahead and look for a job that you want to apply for, click on easy apply and upload your resume, and you're done. Your resume is always going to be there. You don't ever have to go and upload your resume again. You can just upload it using a computer, using your phone, and then you can just click on easy apply and apply for jobs. I just want you to know there is so many jobs. Like for example, if I was looking for a project manager role in the Harris County, there was 332 jobs that are entry level and they're easy to apply. So I just go click here and apply. Read about the company, Precision for Medicine, and it, you know, it gives me a little bit about the duties that I have to do. It says essential duties but not limited to, and then it says the requirements and qualifications, and they prefer what. And then what I can do is I can come here and I can take words, I can take action words: ensure, define project, ensure, advise clients, daily coordination, supervising schedules, creating and managing multiple projects at a time. I can go ahead and put those on my resume and make sure that my resume is searchable, my profile is searchable. Again, you need to have a very professional looking picture and put as many words that goes with your desired job as possible, so you can go ahead and attract the right recruiters to yourself. With that said, Thank you so much for joining me for the Resume and LinkedIn workshop. Again, my name is Donya Ziraksari. I hope you enjoyed this session. I know I truly enjoyed. Thank you and have a good day.